Welcome to worship with the Unitarian Universalist community of Charlotte. I'm Jay Leach, minister of this community, and my pronouns are he, him, his. It hit me waiting in line down in an interior corridor of the Memorial Auditorium in Greenville, South Carolina. Clad in a powder blue cap and gown, the primary color for the J.L. Mann High School. I was alongside classmates I had known for years, some since kindergarten. And the reality of what was about to happen suddenly occurred to me. After 12 years, 12 long years, I was done. I was done? Now, decades later, I still remember that feeling. Standing there just before our dubious high school band launched into the opening strains of Edward Elgar's Pomp and Circumstance, and we processed out and into the rest of our lives. Today we welcome 4 of our high school graduating seniors in this room with us, and we are mindful of 7 others who have been parts of us. Some of them, some of you, we have known since your birth. Others joined us along the way. Echoing the words of my dear friend and colleague, Kathleen McTeague, today we invite you to resist the headlong tumble into the next moment, into the next months, into the next chapter of your lives, to resist that headlong tumble long enough to allow us to celebrate with you, to hear from you, and to bless you on your journeys. In part, we exist for days like this, milestones, markers. We keep this clearing in the forest of our lives as a place where we may gather to name what matters most and to mark memorable days in our lives. Now, the surreal reality of a pandemic that shaped so much of your high school experience continues to be surreal. Both the family who was to have participated in our family dedication and one of the seniors who was to have been here with us have been exposed to COVID and are absent out of an abundance of concern. To the larger contingent of you who are now watching this service by way of the live stream or an archived version, we welcome you and we feel your presence here with us today. When we pause to greet one another in this room, please go to our public Facebook page, find there a post that's welcoming you specifically to this service, and respond in the comments with your personal greeting. And today, I invite you to add a reminiscence about your own high school graduation. For those of us who are here in this sacred space, welcome. To guests especially, welcome. I invite you to greet now those who are around you. Welcome.
With full hearts, we affirm our relationship with one another. We recognize our agency and our connective power, and we accept our responsibility to be bold and courageous. We light this chalice, symbol of all that we are, all that we have done together, and all that we will be.
Good morning. I'm Michael Amy Sierra. My pronouns are she, her, and I have served this year as the coordinator for the middle and high school religious education program. I'm so very honored to be here this morning for this meaningful Unitarian Universalist rite of passage. Our congregation has always been deeply committed to building and nurturing loving community, one where children are valued, respected, cherished, and encouraged to grow spiritually, right along with their parents and caregivers. That commitment and our efforts have paid off already for generations of young people who grew up here. Like my pal who couldn't be here, Pete Green, who came through this program, has served as an advisor for many years, and now has his own children here participating in our beloved religious education program. This morning, we will celebrate yet another class of seniors, 4 of them here with us today, 5, who are now ready to move out into an exciting and often spiritually challenging larger world to wherever their journeys take them. And I just really congratulate them. Oh my goodness, y'all. In the midst of these crazy times, you did this big, brave, and bold thing. And you're here, you are, and I know I speak for everyone in saying how proud we all are of you. And I do want to take a moment, a special acknowledgement to parents and caregivers. It's gone so fast, right? To my right here are some of these very special young people, our high school seniors. While this congregation has certainly shaped them, they have in turn shaped this spiritual community. As worship and event leaders, as childcare staff, as volunteers with Room in the Inn and Operation Sandwich, as leaders at the Mountain. They have completed the Coming of Age program, shared their credos, and with all they have done out in the larger community, and so much more. We have been truly blessed with their presence among us. So, we join together now to commemorate the pilgrimage for these young people, from childhood to adulthood. To do this, we employ a bridge metaphor. Our seniors, as a symbol of the youth community they are stepping away from, will one by one leave this group and ascend the stage area, our symbolic bridge. They will speak and share a personal reflection or just cross over the bridge. I wince at air quotes, y'all, but it had to be done here. As each descends, they will walk down to the front row and be welcomed as an adult into our faith community by members of the UUCC board. There as a reminder that we continue to journey and we hope they carry us with them. Always. Each will receive a rose and a gift of our Unitarian Universalist symbol, a flaming chalice. And so I present to you now our first senior, my mentee, Iris Robinson.
Good morning. Good morning. An ode to goldfish crackers. My name is Iris Robinson, and I have been a member of the UUCC for almost the entire 18 years of my life. My parents both had religious upbringings under the Christian umbrella and realized when they had kids that the experiences they had in their youth were ones of extreme importance to them. When the time came for them to have kids, amongst the discussions of religious upbringing, they discovered Unitarian Universalism. The idea that their children could be raised discovering religion from an outside perspective, not being forced into the roles of an evil being seeking salvation or as someone who is ultimately pure and holy, struck them. And when we moved to Charlotte in 2006, we joined the UUCC. For my parents, this new environment meant new possibilities, a new path of spirituality, and for me, it meant new snacks. I have had the pleasure of growing up attending all stages of the RE program here, and I can tell you for absolute certain that the snacks of the elementary age group are the best. I was a rather healthy kid all my life, and so from the moment I was handed a coffee filter full of artificially colored yellow fish-shaped crackers with powdered fake cheese sprinkles at the end of my first RE lesson, I knew that I was in good hands. The magic of the UUCC will always be the magic of goldfish to me. A treat that you don't get every day that always smiles back. Over time, I began to appreciate the other aspects our community had to offer. The UUCC being the first place I ever met someone who identified as non-binary, leading me to explore and discover my own identity. I met adults like Donna Fisher and Kathleen Carpenter, who supported me to participate in services and singing or otherwise, therefore confronting my vast stage fright. It's not cured yet, but I'll get there. The adults who watched me grow up here are people I will always remember for the way that they guided me, allowing me to shine when it was my time, and creating RE lessons that guided me to my time. Just yesterday, actually, I received a graduation card from Kathleen, sending good wishes for wherever my path leads. This fall, I am attending college at Rochester Institute of Technology, and I have a good feeling that maybe I'll be able to find some goldfish there too.
Good morning. My name's Phoebe Schroep. I've gone to this church, or community, my whole life. I literally don't know life without it. And out of habit, that's why I will continue to mistakenly call it a church. Even though I've been here my whole life, I've never once spoken up here. For both middle and senior high services, I would participate in other ways. Never read a reflection or anything like that up here, as I've had crippling stage fright forever. But since sophomore year, it's been getting a lot better, which, funny enough, is right when COVID hit. I was in a musical for the first time right when things shut down, and I realized how much less scary it is than I made it out to be. So I've been able to do a lot more of it in the few chances I've gotten since COVID restrictions have started to ease. I was even in a spoken word tour reading memorized poems in front of complete strangers so many times without any fear. So now I'm able to stand up here today and read a senior reflection. Now I should probably get back on the church topic. This reflection will for sure not be in any chronological order, as my mind does not work that way, so I'll jump around where I see fit. Since I've been going here my whole life, I've always attended RE, and during elementary school, it was my favorite. I got to see friends, play on the playground, listen to a story, and then do some art or other fun activity every single week. Spirit play was my favorite because I loved looking at the figures they used and then watching them during the story, and then after the story we got to play with them ourselves, and I was just so fascinated by them. And although I don't remember the content or message of most of the stories, their lessons have definitely stuck with me. The simple things like knowing how to be a good person, staying curious, how to be an advocate and to stand up for what I believe in, to be truly myself, and many other lessons. Later in elementary school, we got to go on field trips to different places of worship. That is something I am super grateful for because I have a much better understanding of other religions than most of my peers outside of the church. Then came middle school RE, which I was super excited for because my brother did this Simpsons summer RE program during middle school, and I had been looking forward to it ever since. I wanted to do it the summer between 5th and 6th grade, but I was told I had to stick with the elementary school for that summer. And then once the year started, I could start with the middle school. So I thought I would get to do it the following summer. But Kathleen was always changing up the programming to keep things new, and that next summer, there was no more Simpsons. I was a little bit salty. But the rest of the middle school RE didn't stand out much to me. I was in that fun phase where I hated everything, especially things my parents made me do, like almost every other teenager. So I dreaded going to RE every week. Although I did not, oh my God, sorry. I just wanted to sleep in on the both days I had off from school, but I had to get up early and go to RE. Although I did not like middle school RE at the time, looking back on it, I had my moments and still had plenty of fun. Probably why I didn't put up too much of a fight with my parents over going to church. Then came high school RE. That I was excited for. I knew the upperclassmen and was excited to have RE with them finally and get to know them better. It made going to church every Sunday a lot better because I had people I truly looked forward to seeing and talking to. Plus, the discussions we had in class were super insightful and always felt like they expanded my knowledge. Then there's cons, mountain cons, my favorite thing I've gotten out of the UUCC. I went to my first mountain con in 3rd grade, the first year I was old enough to go. I was so excited too. That day at school, I couldn't stop thinking about the trip, but I was feeling a little nauseous and I threw up in my mouth. I was a super anxious kid and I really wanted to go on the trip, so I obviously told no one about this. I told myself it was just nerves. So I get picked up early from school and head over to the church to load into the van and drive up to the mountain with everyone else. I still didn't feel good, but I kept telling myself I was just nervous. As the adults were packing up the car, I felt it coming. I knew I could not get inside fast enough, so I puked in the bushes and really hoped that no one saw me, still hoping I could go on this trip. But my mom saw, and I was immediately pulled off the trip. I was devastated, but But looking back, if I had tried to ride up in a van up this winding mountain roads while already feeling sick, it would have not ended well for anyone involved. This was the fall con, so I just had to wait and go on the spring con. Luckily, that one went a lot smoother without any incidents, and I had the best time. I knew I had to go back every single year because it was my new favorite place. And that's what I did. I went to con every year until 2019. It was December of 2019, and the con was going to be during my birthday. I was so excited I was going to get to spend my birthday at my favorite place with all my friends. But it got snowed out. Such a bummer, but I wasn't too upset, thinking I could just go in the spring. That's when COVID hit. So I very much did not go in the spring, or the next fall, or the next spring, or the next fall. But this past spring, I was finally able to go again as they restarted cons. This time, I was able to be a PAL, a peer advocate leader, which is pretty much counselors, but you don't have to stay with the children in the cabins at night. That's what the advisors are for. I even went to con planning and got to help make the theme and workshops for all the spring cons. Then I went to the middle school con and con planning, and that's where I got to see my friend Piper, who flew all the way in from Colorado. I met Piper at camp last summer, something else the mountain does. While camps are a lot less church-related, we still do worships on Sunday, and it still has the UU vibe, so I connected with the church. Last summer, I did a thing called the Ascenders program at the mountain, which is a 6-week-long work program where I learned so many different skills in the kitchen, on the farm, in housekeeping, in maintenance, and in programming. All these skills are going to help me so much in my future, so I'm very grateful to the UUCC for introducing me to the mountain where I got to learn them. There's so much more I could ramble on about. OWL, middle and high school services, Charlotte Con, coming of age, and so many more memories to share, but I don't have enough time for that. I'm so grateful for everything the UUCC has given and taught me. I wouldn't be who I am without it. So thank you for making me such an open-minded, accepting, and caring individual, someone with so much knowledge to start me out in my adult life. I'm now starting my adult journey by attending UNC Asheville this fall and majoring in environmental studies. The church actually helped me find my major, sparking my passion for the environment. So really, the UUCC has been this guiding force my whole life. Thank you.
Alex Santonin, and I use they, them pronouns. And I have been a UU since I think I was in the 6th grade. I forgot to ask my mom last night. I have participated in many things in my time being a UU in the community of Charlotte. Mountain cons, lock-ins, services, coming of age, Charlotte cons, and Black Lives of Unitarian Universalism. I feel as though the connections and experiences I have allowed me to shape myself. Through all of these groups, I have been allowed to grow into the person I am spiritually and explore different faiths from a young age. Something I have found challenging is finding when it is okay to have difficult conversations with people who aren't in marginalized communities, and that's something I've had to grow on. I'm looking forward to my travels and what cultures I will learn about in the countries I visit. I will be attending University of Massachusetts Amherst this coming fall, and I look forward to being welcomed into the UU community that is up there. I will always carry the friendships and support from this community with me, and I have so enjoyed my time in the CYRE program. I'm grateful that I was lucky enough to have the resources to spend my time in this community. Thank you for allowing me to be my whole self within this community. I am so grateful. And as Michael said, peace out.
Hi. My name is Henry Hickman. I'll be graduating from Ottergale High School, and next year I'll be attending West Virginia University to study computer engineering as my major, and I'll also be participating in the Air Force ROTC program there. Hopefully, when I graduate, I'll be going into the Air Force as an officer. My parents are Tracy and Scott Hickman, and my siblings are Haley and Rose Hickman.
Without even being invited, I'm going to get you to stand in front of us. Michaela, thank you so much for joining us. Michaela Argent. Imagine 7 of your peers standing alongside you, 6 now: Evie Beverly, Lorelei Bailey, Will McCaffrey, Louis Merkel, Maddox Nielsen, and Jason Nisley. Those of you who are parents of one of these seniors, I invite you to stand now. Remain standing if you will, and I'll invite any other family members of one of these seniors to stand as well. Any family members, thank you. From here on, you may want to save your response because we've got several more categories to go. If at any point in their journey here with us, you were a teacher or an advisor, I invite you to stand now. If you... If you were a mentor to one of these youth as they went through our coming of age program, would you please stand? If you chaperoned a con, drove a bus, prepared a meal, walked these halls at night, I invite you to stand in support of our program in any way. If you've served on our children and youth religious education team at any point during the past 18 years, I invite you to stand as well. And finally, members of this congregation, please rise in body and or spirit to share in a blessing for these seniors. We, the members of the Unitarian Universalist Community of Charlotte, offer our congratulations and express our deepest hopes that your lives will continue to present you with engaging challenges and rewarding successes. You have been a part of us. You will continue to be a part of us always. As we release you now to the journey of lives ahead for each of you, we continue to call you to be true to the highest values which we have shared with you here. Thank you, and please be seated.
welcome. We're happy you're here with us today in this room or joining us remotely. We're pleased to have guests with us in this room and participating through our live stream. Our members would like to greet those of you who are here following the service. So if you're visiting, please raise your hand and keep it up. Members, take note of guests. See near you and invite them to join you for coffee and conversation when the service ends. If you are visiting us by any way of our live stream, of viewing an archived version of this service, we welcome you an opportunity to connect with us. Reach out to our Director of Member Relations, Kelly Green. You can email her at kelly@uncharlotte.org. Should enhance your experience of future services, we offer you large print orders of service, personal hearing assistant devices, and have an elevator available as well. Welcome to each of you, visitors and members alike.
One final reminder to members: as soon as possible following this service, we will begin our Congregational Conversation annual meeting here in this room. Because of that, despite prior advertising, we will not have a time for coffee and conversation in Freeman Hall today. If you are attending the meeting, please just remain here and enjoy conversation with those around you. If you are the parent of a younger child and would like to avail yourself of child care today, please take them immediately following the service, then return to this room rather than, say, going out for a long brunch. The announcement in today's handout call your attention to a few of the many ways that we continue to be an active community. Please take note of them and commit to making connections through these opportunities. We aspire to be a caring community. Today we join in compassionate support for Kelly Green and her family as they mourn the death this week of Kelly's aunt, her mom's twin sister, who died this week. And we join in loving support of Pete Moore and Sharon Baker as Pete recovers from a medical procedure this past week. We know that there are others who go unnamed, who are in need on this day. Members, family members with physical and mental health care concerns, others facing challenging situations. May concern be activated amongst us, that we may be truly a community in times of need. Today is a reminder also that we exist as a community to celebrate as well. In that spirit, I now recognize Melissa Schroep, Contract Co-Coordinator of Children and Youth Religious Education, who has a special award to present today.
Good morning. My name is Melissa Schroep, and my pronouns are she, hers. And along with Lisa Walls, I've been helping to guide our CYRE programming over the last year and the upcoming year as we search for our permanent RE director. I am delighted to be here this morning to present our annual CYRE Volunteer Award, which is called the Roger Atkins Award, in honor of the person whose efforts first inspired it many years ago. We have not had the pleasure of giving this award since 2019. So we have a little catching up to do. We have selected not one, but two very deserving volunteers on which to bestow this honor. Megan Van Fleet and Melanie Greeley. Unfortunately, out, Megan. Unfortunately, Melanie Greeley's traveling out of town today, could not be here, but I hope she's watching on the live stream. We love you, Melanie. Megan and Melanie have contributed much time and energy to our CYRE programs over the years, and both were recognized as being exceptionally present and involved during these last two unusually challenging years. From switching our programming to live Zoom classes, through navigating our gradual easing back into on-site gatherings last summer, and pivoting back to pre-recording many lessons earlier this year when we briefly returned to remote, as well as both teaching more than their fair share as leads in our Spirit Play teaching team this year. They have rolled with many changes and remained willing to do whatever was needed. Megan has been teaching in Spirit Play to our younger kids for many years, and in addition to her consistent efforts to help keep our RE programming afloat during these last 2 years, she's also served as a mentor in our coming of age programs. And I'm sure I'm forgetting things on your resume. I was trying to ask people without, you know. Melanie, in addition to teaching in RE, has offered positive discipline workshops for past RE teacher orientations. As some of you knew, Melanie is a full-time elementary school teacher with CMS. So not only does she bring her classroom management skills to our program, but continued to offer them to us during an unprecedented time of upheaval and uncertainty for educators. That she was navigating all that, yet still willing to commit time to CYRE during all of it is deeply appreciated. We thank you both for consistently showing up with patience, perseverance, flexibility, and grace. You've both been an invaluable part of our team, and I hope we will continue to have your support and input as we work on reimagining our future programming. Thank you.
I now recognize the co-chairs of this year's Board of Trustees, Andos Helms and Paul Wilson, with another award to present.
Good morning. I'm Paul Wilson. Thank you. I'm Paul Wilson, a co-chair of your Board of Trustees. My pronouns are he, his.
And I'm Andos Helms, the other co-chair. My pronouns are she, her. So over these last 3 years, I've learned that some things about serving on the board are not fun. One thing that is always a joy is choosing the recipient of the UUCC's Sybil Bernstein Award.
The Sybil Bernstein Award is presented annually to honor a lengthy record of commitment and generosity to our congregation. It is named after a beloved member of our congregation, now of blessed memory, whose remarkable generosity and devoted service to our congregation still stand as shining examples for us. In offering this award, we honor Sybil Bernstein and the prior recipients of this, our highest recognition for meritorious giving and service.
Sybil Bernstein herself was the first recipient, followed by Jess and Sue Riley,
Pete Parks,
Lloyd Dillon,
Charles and Lois Lee,
Liv Jones and Tom Nunnenkamp,
Irene Lukens,
Judy Reynolds,
Barbara and Randy Witt,
Donald and Mary Lou Freund,
Don Ferris,
Richard Kushmal and Becky Whittington,
Susan Cox,
Kathleen Mutzig,
Cindy Thompson,
Jim and Sheila Lay,
Fred Dodson,
Jan McNeely,
Rita Heath Singer,
and Rich and Nancy Green. If you are one of the recipients that we just called, would you please stand for a round of recognition?
There are still so many people left who have made outstanding long-term contributions to our congregation that this year's selection was a challenge. This year's recipients have been members for almost 25 years. They've held so many leadership roles that it's hard to think of many aspects of congregational life they haven't shaped.
They have both served on the adult religious education and spiritual development team and facilitated adult classes. And they've both served as coming-of-age mentors. One of them has also been deeply involved in children and youth religious education leadership, including chair of that team. That member has also been a greeter and a member of the worship team.
The other member of this pair has been an Our Whole Lives facilitator and served on the music team. You can see and hear this person's devotion in the choir on a regular basis. And together, they've brought 2 children through our religious education program and seen them emerge as amazing young adults and current UUCC members.
These 2 outstanding members of our congregation have been generous with their time and their money, but perhaps what makes them most appropriate for this year's award is that they have faced adversity, not just with resilience and resolve, but with joy and love. Incredibly difficult health challenges have not just brought them closer as a family, but seem to have deepened their appreciation for this community.
They have gratefully received our support, and they have never stopped giving us theirs. By now, you've probably figured it out. The recipients of the 2022 Sybil Bernstein Award are Tom Cole and Carol Hartley.
Very briefly, we have had some health challenges recently, myself in particular, and it really has deepened my appreciation for this community and all the people who let me know I was not forgotten. I've said it before and I'll say it many times afterwards, I'm sure, but I've just discovered gratitude in this period, and I hope it's the basis for my life going forward. So thank you all. But once again, I made it all about me. This is a joint award.
What the youth said about stage fright always resonates with me. Thank you very much. I'm very honored and very touched, and this community has meant more to us than I can ever adequately express in words. Thank you.
Leaving Africa. The jacarantas are in flower as the blossoms fall purple, small deaths sighting at the side of open suitcases, coming to rest in the dust of gathering memories, waiting to be packed along with the myriad possessions, dregs of life and tree scattered that song of inevitable ending, where what was can no more and what is calls in soulful whisper, reminding it all is impermanent. Nothing lasts or can endure beyond its allotted time, and for the expatriate, there will always be a moment to go home. Just as the tree sheds its beauty, making way for something new, and for which is destined to come after, fated to the turn of the wheel of life, the eternal cycle. Slowly spinning in silence unseen, revolution of days and minutes dropped into the past as the now rises in gentle roll to the top of consciousness, holding for a brief reality impressed as template of our being. So we begin to move to our created end, which has always been written, even if we did not know it. Rosalind Ross.
All that we youth have experienced in this community has been possible because of the generosity of many members over many years. The capacity to continue offering a place for youth and for their families depends now on our generous support. The offering will now be given and received.
One of my dearest friends, UU minister Mark Bellatini, wrote such beautiful words to mark ascending out. I offer them today to you high school seniors and to all of us. Go in peace, live simply, gently, at home in yourselves. Act justly, speak justly. Remember the depth of your compassion. Forget not your power in the days of your powerlessness. Do not desire to be wealthier than your peers. And stint not your hand from giving. Practice forbearance. Speak the truth or speak not. Take care of yourselves as bodies. Take care of yourselves as bodies, for you are a good gift. Crave peace. Crave peace for all the people of the world, beginning with yourselves. And as you go with the dream of that peace alive in your hearts. Congratulations. Please be seated.